first one is Coachella.
Oh my God.
And, Coachella's always big, but I don't think it's as big as it used to be. And it used to be this thing that was like a cultural event. And I know, we saw the Lord and Charlie XCX moment. And we saw Bernie Sanders out there, doing a little talk beforehand. But I just thought you should know, and this is a crazy stat, 60% of the people attending Coachella this year are paying in installments.
Oh, yeah. That would make sense. I mean, it's incredibly sad, but that makes sense.
Because it used to be that you just had to pay for the ticket and pay it off on your credit card. But they allow that now in 4 or 5 different payments. So you can pay for your Coachella tickets, just the wristbands.
Yeah. It's like when you're online and it's like Afterpay or whatever. It's like you can just do it in 4 installments or 6 installments, which I'm sure the interest on that is just silly.
So there was a whole article about what it costs to go.
Yeah.
And I thought you'd find this interesting. So first off, I just want to point out at 37, the idea of standing out all day in the hot sun, seeing a bunch of bands I've never heard of. Because you're there for the headlines, but there's be a lot of bands that you're like, I've never heard of these guys. Does not appeal to me anymore. That's not how I'm going to spend my time. If I want to see a Coachella performance, I will stream it like I did with Charlie XCX, right? But I have to be honest, it was never my thing.
I was going to say that quarter zip screams, I'm going to stream it from my living room.
You are looking at me like, oh my God, that sounds like my favorite thing.
I would probably, I don't think I could do like the camping experience. I would stay. I would pay extra to
You used to be able to do the camping experience though.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
But not anymore.
Not anymore. But I would 100% go to Coachella. Absolutely.
Really?
Yes.
So if I had unlimited funds and I was sitting in one of those glamping camps where they're like gigantic and they have like a bathroom inside and whatever, sure.
I could go mid-tier. Like I would want to see. Even just watching this weekend. Okay, Missy Elliott was there.
Yeah.
Glorilla, Lady Gaga. I'm a terrible lesbian because I'm not the biggest fan. I respect her. Whatever. The Beaches played. So a little Canadian shout out.
Yeah.
There were so many good artists, but I always wonder, is it better to go the first or second weekend? And that's the big
it's
thing.
A good question.
Because is it like a burnout by the end? Justin Bieber was there.
He sure was.
Wasn't he?
Yeah, he doesn't seem like he's doing the best right now. Did you see the Drew House post last week?
I did.
He said, if you rock with me and my family, you will not support this brand.
I don't understand what's happening.
So just as an aside, we'll get to the Coachella thing in a second. So apparently he hired a business manager. This is all alleged. So take it with a grain of salt. Hired a business manager that's been accused in the past of squandering fortunes, but has also done really well by artists. And so the guy and I forgot this happened. Justin Bieber, there was like a whole story years ago about when he was a young man, like how he had a swagger coach. And this is one of these hanger-oner guys that were, and this was like, there was like a whole article done on this guy. It was all a part of that Scooter Braun sort of like star system that he created. So this guy was like showing Justin how to be confident and cool on the red carpets. And this is like 2011, 2012. The kid, he's like 20, right?
Yeah.
And this is when he sort of started to go off the deep end when he's like flipping off that picture of Bill Clinton and peeing in a bucket and whatever. It was never actually that bad, but people were like, I can't believe he's doing this.
Not the baby singer.
Yeah. And so I guess that swagger coach guy was the same guy that headed up Drew House, which was the brand. And so apparently, and I guess there's some legal issues behind the scenes, but Drew House was just about to put a new collection out. And Justin said, I'm not interested in this and I'm not a part of this or whatever. And he's got a new collection coming out that sort of looks like Drew House. And it's all, because Drew House is very colorful, right? So he's got a whole bunch of that. And so it's something to monitor. I didn't like make it into a full story for this show because I thought, I don't know if people want to dive into the weeds on Justin Bieber's thing, but there's some stuff going on.
Something is awry behind the scenes right now. It was nice. I was happy to see that he was out and about because he always goes to Coachella. So I was interested after the past few weeks. Haley was there and they were with like Billie Eilish and like things seemed, I'm glad he's surrounded right now.
Well, yeah. And I think, when you've got money like this, you got to remember that wherever there's money, there's jackals, right? Like, you've got the people that actually earn the money, and then there are the people that earn the money off those that earn the money.
Absolutely.
And, Justin had for a long time, there was remember that rapper he was hanging out with too, little something? And like the guy literally was living in his house. I think he's in jail now. But he was like this kid who was like, I'm like, who is this guy? He hasn't had any hits. He hasn't done anything. And it was like, I forget what it was.
A little something. Steph's looking into it.
He has had throughout his career.
Clinging on. Yeah.
His dad, I think, was accused of being one of them because he wasn't really in Justin's life.
And he's kind of back out again.
Justin's mom is not really in his life. Do you know what I'm talking about? Hey, Stephanie's got her own mic now.
Lil Za.
Lil Za.
Lil Za. Yes.
Yes. Do you remember him?
I remember because it always reminds me of Lil Pizza.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I hope Justin's just kind of maybe I'm concerned about a couple of things because obviously there's substance abuse issues there on some level. And, whether or not that's an addiction or it's just poor behavior or whatever, I don't know enough to comment on that. But what I do hope is that it's not that.
He's been wearing his little bucket hat in a different way these days. I don't know if you saw.
Is that good or bad?
It kind of looks like a little Peter Pan hat.
Do we like the bucket hat?
Justin has better style than I will in many ways. So I'm fine with it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well,
but I'm worried too.
Crazy thing that he has. It's called money. Yeah. So anyway.
Sorry, really
just to go to Coachella.
Outside, yeah.
So if you're not Justin Bieber and you get free tickets, because they for sure give all the celebrities free tickets.
Oh, absolutely.
Just to get into the festival, you're going to need $1,100 American just for 2 wristbands. Just that.
Okay.
So that's already a lot.
Yep.
There's the cheapest way for people to stay at Coachella is to car camp. So you can stay all 4 nights for $180. If you're like sleeping in your car, if you got one of those cars that has like a tent attached to it or whatever, pickup truck,
back of the Bronco, living in the back of the Bronco.
Because yours would do that, right?
Yeah, I can put a little mattress in it.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. And then beyond that, if you want to camp and like just camp generally, usually they kind of said if you were buying like everything new, it cost you about $600-700.
My God.
And then they also, for food and groceries and booze and that sort of thing. And that's what you're bringing onto that's not buying from the actual things, probably another $600-700. You're talking about in a lot of cases, like a $3,000 weekend.
What if you aren't camping in any capacity? What if you're body camping?
You're just sleeping
you're
wherever?
You're just standing.
There are
you're
people.
Just hanging around, you're just out and about.
I think you need illicit substances for that.
I can go elsewhere in my mind.
Really?
Okay, yeah, I could. I don't know if I could stand 3 days in the desert just like body camping. That is also not what it's called.
No.
But I could just hang around.
Yeah, I couldn't sleep in my shoes anymore.
No.
I can't do it anymore.
No. I feel like if I'm saving that much money, I can sleep anywhere. I can sleep in my shoes. Like I could do that. That is absurd.
There is a point in your life where you reach like so for me. And again, I knew it was. We used to have this thing in Ontario called Way Home Festival, and I went and I had fun and it was fine. But I remember, here we go. Kendrick Lamar was on and he was great, and I've seen him a couple of times. And I remember thinking like, this is great, but I can't wait to get back to the hotel.
I'm laughing because it's always about Way Home 2014 or 2015.
Because I can't pretend to like this.
Adam loves to talk. Everything changed at the Way Home Festival because I think, you know what I think happened is I think you went too hard. You went too hard at this place and you partied. You were out of control. I didn't
party that hard.
No, you were dancing, you were bopping around, and then you transformed like a little cocoon, a butterfly in a cocoon into an old man. That's when it changed. That is when it changed.
I think that was where I stopped pretending that I could do this.
You raved too hard, brother.
That's what it was.